Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I am so excited to be here as guest designer with Spellbinders. They sent me a collection of stamps created by Stephanie Lowe, and the collection's called Just Add Colour, and they are beautiful. I don't know, I think that Spellbinders might know something about me and my love for flowers. What do you think? Aren't they beautiful? So today I'm going to be making a set of gift cards. So I started by choosing the stamps that I wanted to use, and these are red rubber cling stamps, so you can use them with your blocks or you can use them with a MISTI tool, and I stamped out a stack of these. And because they're red rubber, they stamp beautifully, and I used a Copic friendly ink because I thought it'd be fun to do some colouring today. And I coloured this whole sheet of stamps and I had a blast. I did two different styles of colouring today, so I'm going to share a couple of flowers and some leaves with you just to show you the process, but I won't share them all because we would be here all day like I was. But it's fun. I gotta say, I had so much fun. I don't always follow the rules when it comes to using my Copic colour families together. I like to sort of mix them up sometimes, and I like the colours that it gives me. It does change the tone of the colours, so you can get a whole different look. And I don't have every Copic colour either, so I like to use what I have rather than feel like I need to go out and buy every Copic colour. So I shaded two of the RV pinks. I used the darker one on the inner portion of the petal and then shaded it out with the lighter one as you normally would do. But I've come in with the BV00 to add the shadowing. And I think that the purple worked really well, but to me it made it too purpley, so I will show you how I fix that in just a minute. So because I'm stamping and colouring for a set of cards, I find that when I'm doing this, I do like to actually kind of make everything matchy-matchy, so it looks similar. And what I can do then is actually change things up so that they look like they are meant to be together and coordinate, but I don't get bored, because if I was making the same card over and over, I would be so bored. And I wouldn't get to use all of these beautiful flowers. So I look at colouring a big sheet of flowers like this as Copic colouring practice and fun, of course. Alright, so I'm coming in with the BV again, and I'm looking at it thinking it just does look a bit too purple for my liking. So what I'm doing here is I've actually brought back in the RV13, which is the darker RV colour that I was using, and just blending that straight over top of the purple. And what that does is it actually makes the colour back to a pink tone again, and I think that worked perfectly. So the leaves I did make a nice bright green, and this is probably my favourite lime green colour combo with the YG family. They are a really pretty group of greens, and I use them all the time. I have the refills, that's how much I use them. So this is my second style of colouring, and I'm going for more of a messy look, which is almost getting kind of a watercolour look using the Copic markers. I'm trying not to think too much about it. I am coming in with my lighter colour first, that's the RV02, and actually just swooshing some colour, but focusing it on the inside portion of the petals and making sure to leave some of the white space on some of the petals. And then I'm doing the same with the RV13. I'm coming back in with that again and adding less this time, less of the dark colour. Now this is a really simple way to colour with Copics, and anyone can do it. So if you don't have confidence with all the shading and mixing of colours, this is a really great technique to try, and it's a good way to learn your colours and what they look like together as well. So these are the leaves that I'm going to coordinate with the messy flowers, so I have coloured them in a similar fashion. I have kept them almost watercolour look and leaving some white space on those as well. Most of them are going to be hidden because I'm going to be creating a wreath with this particular set of flowers. And I thought I'd share just one more flower with you because I did come in with my orange. It's orange and pink combo. It's my all-time favourite combo. And today I coordinated it with grey as well. So I think I've got a new favourite combo. Bright orange, hot pink and grey. It makes me happy. So these flowers, I sort of did a combination between like the perfect blend and the messy look. And I think after I do my base colours, what I like to do sometimes is come in with another colour and actually add like a final layer of shading, and it just has to be slightly darker than the previous colours that I've coloured. Like on this orange flower, I came in with the YR24 at the end, and I found just by leaving a few streaks in the actual colouring, it gives it a more natural look. So I'm going to start working on the panels that are sitting on the front of my cards. I have them all cut just slightly smaller than the A2 card base, and I'm going to cut the first 3 with the Nestabilities circles, and the next 3 I'm going to be doing some tone-on-tone stamping for the backgrounds. So these 3 pieces of grey cardstock I'm stamping with the grey ink. I am actually going to coordinate the stamps that come in the sets together, so the floral stamp that I coordinate with the background stamp actually come in the same sets. So this is the Mandala Blossoms stamp, and it has a little beautiful little bouquet that I coloured up, and you'll see that when I put all the cards together at the end. This second set is the little flowers set, which is also really pretty, and I think that this makes a lovely tone-on-tone background, and then when you add the bouquets to it, it just brings it to life. So when I'm stamping a background, I like to make sure that I stamp some of the images off the edges of the card. If I'm using 2 different sized stamps, I usually use my larger stamps first. And I also make sure that I rotate the stamp so it's at different orientations. And these leaves, they're from the Botanical Feather set, which has a bouquet, a feather, and quite a few different leaves to choose from. Now all of the backgrounds, I did splatter some white ink spray. I don't actually spray the ink, I disconnect the spray nozzle out of the bottle, and just tap it over top, and then I set it aside to dry because it takes ages. All the sentiments come from the same stamp set, which is the Thanks Expressions. It's actually a die and stamp set. It's awesome, but it has all these great little sentiments in it, and so I've used that on all of the cards. I stamped some in black ink, and I embossed some in white ink, and I also embossed some for the grey card bases on a darker grey and embossed those in white as well. So the trick here is what I do is stamp out the sentiment in embossing ink, add my embossing powder, and then I'll stamp again. And once I've got them all stamped, I can just hit them with the heat tool all at the same time. Just have to be careful not to touch the powder when you're stamping. I did prep it with the powder tool, so I had to remove that powder. I do wait for the embossing powder to cool down a little bit before I do that, and then I just cut my little sentiments into strips. Now all of the panels I've popped up with some fun foam today, and I used some strong adhesive tape to do that with. And then all of my cards are top fold cards so that they do coordinate as a set of gift cards, and all the colours coordinate. There's lots of dimension in all of these, so I love dimension. I also do like to do fairly clean and simple cards, but if I'm going to have something, I think by adding some dimension and some foam squares, it really gives the card some of that wow factor. I think these 3 grey ones turned out really pretty. Actually, I like them all. The flowers are what makes it. So this is the Mandala Blossoms. It's a really pretty set. And this particular flower, when I fussy cut it out, I fussy cut right up to the edges. I did a bit of both on these cards. Some of the flowers and leaves I fussy cut, leaving a white border. Others I cut them straight up to the edge. There is no rhyme or reason into why I did what with what. It was what I felt like. So each card is similar, but the layout is slightly different. You could actually keep the same layout for all of the designs and just change up the flower bouquets. There's so many options. And for the final grey design, I actually added 2 separate flowers here and popped my sentiment over top of the flowers. I know that freaks some people out, but I really like my sentiment to sit on top and you can still see the flowers. Like I said, lots of dimension. So now it's time to work on the circle window cards. I did actually come in and splatter some extra grey cardstock with some of the white ink spray, and I'm going to attach that directly to the front of my top fold card just using some tape runner. And I have popped this panel up on some fun foam with some strong adhesive, but it's hard to see because the fun foam is exactly the same colour as the cardstock, but I promise you it's there. Now these beautiful flowers are from the large Peonies stamp set, and there's quite a few Peonies in this release, and I hope to have another card coming up very soon to share with you using the Peonies bundle, it's called, which is another beautiful set. I did consider layering one of the flowers behind the window but changed my mind. Right, this one's from the Loves Me Not, and probably the most clean and simple card design that I make today. And I did actually add just a white sentiment and a white window. I just thought it would be too much to have the coloured cardstock on the front of this one. And I fussy cut that one out, leaving the white border. I thought it would be easier. And here's my final card, and I decided to create a wreath, and that's why I die cut the circle a little bit lower on this panel. I'm using some tape runner again just to adhere all the flowers and leaves, although I'm lying. Alright, you got me. I actually popped up 4 of the flowers just with some 1mm thick, a really thin foam tape. But I think this card turned out beautiful too. I hope that you've been inspired to make a set of floral gift cards today, and I'd like to say thank you to Spellbinders for letting me play with this collection from Stephanie Lowe. Just add colour, and I did. Lots of it. Pink and orange and grey. Oh, that's a neutral. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, bye.